Hello and welcome to Discussing Documentaries with me, Adam Morrison. Today we're going to be talking about episode 3 of The Innocent Man, and joined with me today is Rick Walton.
Don't worry about that. We'll make you sound smart in the edit there, Adam.
Excellent. Yeah, mate, I don't like doing the intro. When you done it threw me.
We sat here for half an hour going, yeah, just say that and we'll start.
No. I totally forgot everything. You have lovely hair.
You were about to say the name of another podcast idea I had, weren't you?
Yes, yeah. You put it in my head.
All right. Anyway, thank you very much for joining us again. This is AJ's Patreon pick, episode 3 of The Innocent Man. In total, I believe. How long ago did we start episode 1? And I'm annoyed we didn't continue it because this has been. I've enjoyed all 3 episodes so far of this. How about yourself there, Adam?
I think, so the first 2 were good. I felt bad for the people in it. And then I was like, oh, he's a bastard, blah, blah, blah. But this one, I think this one, for me, was the most heartbreaking.
Okay.
Well,
so you don't care about Debbie or Sue?
Yeah, no, I was just about to say that. Like, yeah, obviously it's bad that they were murdered the way they were murdered and stuff like that, and the families and stuff.
And it's about time someone said that.
Yeah, it was bad. Yeah, it is about time. But this one, well, you'll see what I'll get at as we go through it. We'll start from the top, yeah, and then we'll just go through it, and you'll see because there's one bit that stuck out for me. Okay,
well, this one it's half of it at least is probably the demoralizing. The other one is shock and horror, and this one's like, oh, this is
demoralizing. That's the word, not heartbreaking. No, that was
because also. Yeah. As the last episode, you kind of went through. There's no way until you get to the last 3 minutes of that episode where you think Ron Williamson's innocent.
Yeah,
there's no chance in hell that you think the guy's screaming at the fucking judge and trying to chuck the fastened down tables at the jury. You're like, oh yeah, there's an innocent man right there. But let's get into it. So it starts off, and the first thing to talk about is. Basically, the town it's set, Ada, Oklahoma, used to have way back in the day, way back. It's probably cowboy shit going on, which is they would just have duels over disputes.
Any argument in it, it's guns at noon. At noon.
That's it. Guns at noon. And then there was a guy called Gus Bobbitt who had a quarrel over grazing rights. So I'm not sure on this, but I'm pretty sure that means what grass cows eat.
That's exactly what it means, yeah. So
that seems worth shooting someone over.
Were eating off his neighbour's grass. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know, I have so many arguments about that when we're walking the dog, because like if another dog's coming, we need to get space to calm Ari down. But I'm like, do not step on someone else's fucking grass around here, right? Like,
it's like Ada 1909.
Okay, it fucking is. It's not fucking far off. I'm telling you this right now.
Yeah, this bit was. So this is like, what was this? This is like the intro part of the episode, in it before the credits.
Yeah, and it's really it kind of makes it all folksy all over again after the last episode, because it's a nice old lady, I forget who it was, just goes, let me tell you a story, and she goes through back in Jebediah Springfield times, and so Gus Bobbitt has a quarrel over grazing rights, and someone hires out a hired gun to go and kill him. They get arrested, and I think the whole town turns up and hangs them.
Well, no. Is that what happens? I thought it was... They get arrested. So what's their names? It's Alan and West, and Jim Miller's the hired gun in it. So they all get arrested, and then they go down to the police station, or some people go down to the police station, take him out, and then hang him in the stables. Yeah. And then the whole town turns up, and they're like, well, who's done this? I don't know who's done this. And and everyone's like baffled. Obviously, it's the old Bill that's done it. You couldn't have been anyone else, really, could it? So they're all hanged, and then that is when what did they say? The Old West was dead.
Yeah, wait. They said that was the end of vigilante justice.
That's it, vigilante justice.
That's when they formed it, and
Yeah.
I imagine we do have laws that have came from things like this in this country, but like in Chester Street, it'd be like, well, you know, back in the 1800s, if someone stole your plums, you could kick them in the face, and in the end of the day, we had to make laws saying you couldn't punch your plum picker.
Yeah.
And to this day, I never take plums off other people's trees.
You can't take plums off other people's trees. Jesus Christ, that is a kick in the face offence. Yeah, so it's weird that, like, everything that went in on America, like, at this time with, you know, like, the history of, like, the Klan and stuff, like, down the South and stuff like that.
Genocide of the natives, yeah.
Yeah, like, everything. It was 3 people being hanged in a barn for cows eating the wrong grass. That where it was like, no, we need law and order now. We need law and order now. Let's get that started. We're going to have to go through the courts. Can't have this.
You've came home and your kids said, all right, you fucked around too much now. You broke one of my PlayStation controllers. Right, yeah. Dad's setting down some new rules now. No, you had your chance. I tried to be cool. You weren't. You couldn't be.
It just baffled me that was the thing that got the law and order in, like, started in America or in Oklahoma at least. Like, nothing. Yeah.
Well, we have this old lady to say so. I mean, it could have just been coming around that time.
It could have been coming around that time. But it was the hangings that were the problem, not the people shooting each other for stealing their newspaper or something like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, you stole my newspaper in the morning, right? Let's have a fucking shootout. It's just, yeah.
I tell you, I went out to go and get a vape oil from the new off license around mine today. And there's a little back alley that's never been there before from the estate. So I decided to be brave. I went down this little alleyway, right? And it's weird because it looks over a car park. This is what it looked like. Do you know on Father Ted, I hear you're a racist now, Father, the guy. Yeah. It's like a wall a little bit taller than that. And there was a guy just stood there. And it's about 9 feet away from reaching parallel with him where I can see his midsection down.
Yeah.
So I had a full 9 steps of going, is this guy pissing? And I'm walking towards him because there was no earthly reason for him to be there. You're around the back of a shop next to a fence and he's just stood there looking at a car park. That's the end of my day. I don't do a lot of my days. That's what happened.
But mate, yeah, no, I would be exactly the same. Is this guy pissing? Do I slow down my walk? Do I speed up my walk?
I felt like I had to ask him. Do I need to wait until you finish that, pal? Like, what are you talking about, young'un? Oh, fuck, now he's angry. Yeah. Right, okay. He was pissing, but he's angry.
Yeah. Do you give him the friendly stranger nod to show that you're not like... Just quickly nod your head. All right, mate, how you doing? Good morning, see you later. Oh, weather's funny, isn't it? Like, do you know what I mean? And then carry on.
Your granddad, Davy Wharton. I used to pinch plums off my granddad. Get here.
But I would be the same, like, in situations like that, I don't know what to do. Slow down, speed up. Eye contact or no eye contact? Nod, no nod.
I don't know how to talk to it because it's a new shop now, so I had to talk to a new cashier that I like the ice menthol, not the regular menthol. I don't like having to do that with a queue.
Oh, I like my regular shop with my regular shopkeeper that knows me. That's already got the fags out on the counter ready for me.
Did I ever tell you about the coffee shop next to the old flat I lived in London? I'm sure I've mentioned this recently. I'll do it quickly if not.
Go on.
So I used to go in, like, and this when I going through a phase of having like 2 lattes a day. So I'd go in there and like they'd be nice, we'd talk to each other. And then the day I was moving, I was like, oh, I'm moving house today. And he comes out, he's like, oh, my friend. Oh, he shook my hand. He goes, on the house. I went, oh, cheers. He goes, where are you moving to? I was like, it's about 10 minutes up the road, but you know, it's next to a Costa, so I'm not gonna walk.
It's about 10 minutes up the road, and you know you've been really good to me for these last 5 years. But you know what? Fuck yeah. I'm going with the big boys, mate.
I'm living next. I'm sorry, I'm not going to walk past 2 coffee shops to come to you. All right, like I'll pay for this one. I can't lie to you and pretend I'm moving away, and then you see me in Costa.
The thing is,
like I've been grifting for 5 years.
10 minutes is it's too far. Do you know what I mean?
It was past at least 2 to 3 places I could have got coffee of similar quality.
But if it's an hour away and you're driving, I'll do an hour for something I really. But for 10 minutes, I'm just like, oh, that is just too far. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can't. I'm not doing a 10-minute walk to the shop or to the coffee shop.
Back to
Innocent Oklahoma.
Man. We have put ourselves on quite the content schedule, myself and Adam.
Yeah.
So, do you mind our Twitch stream is starting? I simply must play Football Manager. So next off we see is Mark Barrett. He's the attorney for Ron Williams.
Yeah.
And it's great when he's talking about like the ethics of repping a killer. I don't know. It's whenever someone's justifying what they do. It basically he's going, I've always thought right about things. He's driving. And between him starting that sentence and it cutting away and him finishing that sentence, he's now wearing sunglasses.
Yeah, he's... see, what I got from him, he just sounds super chill. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's just so laid back.
Because I know exactly what you're getting at, and I didn't click about what I was going to talk about and who I was going to... So the other thing that got me is he's talking about this guy, he's going to be innocent, and it's about the ethics of wrongful convictions. And he goes, do you want to hear do a bit on the piano?
That's what I was going to say. In my notes, I've got sound super chill, comforting, decent on the piano. And I was looking, I was like, I wonder if I could do that one day.
But it's just like, so they exhumed the body, right? There's a wrongful conviction. There's another guy in jail for other killings. There's been an absolute slew in this area of the local prosecutor saying that people have dreamt they've done it and they admit it as evidence. And then, do you know that I know 3 blind mice?
I'll tell you what, his F major scale was absolutely spot on. You couldn't get better than that.
It's so weird you learn how to play the piano.
Yeah. It's like I'm picking up on pianos all over the place now. What have I had, 10 lessons?
If you want to hear how Adams get on, he's actually doing the theme tune to our new podcast, All New to Wrestling. So if you could search for that, and it's not at the level of discussing documentaries one yet, but I am a fan. That's what I'm going to say, Adam. I'm looking forward to hearing the improvement.
Thank you very much, Ricky. Yeah,
not paying those expensive music rights that we did for this one.
Hopefully, will be as good as Ray Charles very soon. So,
but he makes interesting points because he's talking about back, at a certain point in history, people just thought the police were magic. Like, they didn't make mistakes. Yeah, innocent men didn't go to jail.
Yeah.
Because they used Bibles in a court, God's on their side.
And it all turned out to be completely utter bollocks.
Yeah. He met Ron on death row. Yeah.
So, what was it, 1988? He met him.
I think this is 88-ish. I think 88, he might have been convicted, and then this is maybe mid-90s. But he joined the case late 80s, early 90s, is what I want to say.
And then he gets his 2 investigators on the case, then he Kim Marks, and Janet Davis was the other appeal attorney.
And Jules Bonnet, I want to say.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I may have just wrote down the one name spelt wrong, went back, wrote the new one, and then I forgot to cross that one out.
I had to rewind it 3 times because I kept missing her name.
Well, what kept getting me is, so when you see him, this is a very well put together documentary. What they're talking about, you see good footage of it at the time of they're talking about it, very succinct. But you see 3 individual pictures of Mark, Kim, and Janet. Perhaps Jules, one of the 2. Which name have you got down, Jules or Janet? Because I got
Janet Davis, Kim Marks, and Mark Barrett. Yeah.
Okay, so Mark's in the middle, and there are 3 separate pictures of a different time, but it looks like Mark's got his arm around both of them, like a creep.
I noticed that as well. Yeah.
So I think it's Kim Kim Marks is saying that I read the trial transcript and I go, why are we taking this case? Like, where's the part where he's innocent?
Yeah.
He sounds fucking crazy. So a week before Ron Williamson is going to trial, he gets a stay of execution. They'd already sent a letter out to his family to say he's going to be killed next week.
Yeah.
So they cancel the plans.
Yeah, so he gets a stay of execution, and then they find an eyewitness, Glenn Gore.
Yeah, he's the one who said he saw them arguing at the bar.
Yeah. But then it goes into other stuff. They start talking about other evidence.
Or when it goes into this, and this is one of the most fucked up things I've heard. Because in episode 1 or 2, they say, we've got the guy who did it, we just can't get him yet.
Yeah.
That's an actual quote that I think he said to the mother of the lady who was killed. I want to say Peggy or Sue. No, Peggy's the mother. So the Bill Peterson says that to her. And then you find out that Ron Williamson's alibi was his mother, and they waited for his mum to die before they charged him.
Yeah.
They also got a journal of his mother that said they went to Blockbusters that night and a receipt, admitted it into evidence, and then, that evidence has disappeared.
Yeah. But the thing is, they waited for her to die because she was well known in the town for not bullshitting about anything. She would have grassed her son up, she would grass her husband up, she would grass the fucking dog up. Do you know what I mean? She would grass anybody up because she was a God-fearing, good old Oklahoma woman. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What I loved about her was a mad haircut. Did you notice her haircut?
Oh, yeah, that's a beehive and a half, isn't it?
Gee, all the women in that family had the most mental, haircuts. I was like, Jesus Christ, I wish I could go live in them times. That was just hair looked better back then. I've got to think about hair lately. What am I going to do?
No, I could understand. All the target advertiser knows I'm due a windfall. Like he's got to come to Belgravia sooner or later. He mentions it too much not to.
But so everything goes missing. They get a palm print.
Yeah. So they for them to exhume the body, which I want to say that was what happened in the last one. So they exhume the body.
Yeah.
They then check a palm print, which they say is definitely the daughter's.
The body would have been decomposing, but they said the palm print was pristine, clear. I didn't understand. I didn't understand how, if a body's decomposing, that the palm print would come out and be obvious.
It's fucking and be a better match than what it was 10 years ago or whatever.
10 years ago, yeah. I didn't get that.
And also, the palm print expert reversed his decision for the first time in a 20-year career.
Yeah. And then it was all other things as well, like he had a couple of pubes on his washcloth. Do you know what I mean? That they matched up. And
well, it's when they use certain words. Now, this is when, particularly the lady who picked this one and a few other people that I know that are very, very fun listeners to have, that are kind of black belts in true crime. Yeah. One thing you've never heard in a recent trial is a hair comparison expert. Which,
oh, God, yeah. This one.
Which is someone who went, that definitely looks similar. Look at him.
Yeah,
that one and that one.
Away from the L'Oreal laboratories just to fucking do this.
They had an exoneree on one of the ladies on the appeals case had a famous exoneree against that office for someone they trialed and convicted on what turned out to be a dog hair with the hair comparison expert.
Yeah. What an expert. You can't even tell the difference between a dog hair and a human hair. Is there a difference? I don't know. I'm going to look into this week. That's another thing for my list, Rick. I'm going to look into hair. Surely all hair looks the same.
Yeah. Yeah, it absolutely does. Can you imagine the amount of people that would have been convicted over whatever 30-year period or longer where that was the common practice? Now, this is lucky enough to happen at the back end. In the early 90s, DNA testing thankfully comes because in the pube evidence, they're using words like microscopically consistent. Not another phrase I've heard in 1,000 true crime documentaries I've watched.
Microscopically, what was it? Consistent, and the hair expert. That was insane.
Melvin Hutt. Jesus, there was a guy stealing a living for a good while.
Yeah.
He was the hair evidence expert.
He even said we got it more wrong than right. Like, it was like 90% fucking failure rate.
And then...
Oh, my God, this next bit. Yeah. Go on.
It's all tied in around something called a Brady violation, which I'll get to on what that exactly that is.
Oh.
But they show the... it's the polygraph test he does, and then, which I imagine they were pretty spot on back in the late 80s.
Yeah.
Says you're lying. Sorry, Ron. You got crackers. It was inconclusive, so he didn't pass. He didn't fail, which I imagine meant he passed them.
Yeah.
They talk to him, and he tells them. They start asking him about his dreams, and then he says that he'd had a dream with regards to what we heard in episode 2, which is why we think he's the monster that we thought he was, because they showed you what they showed the jury, which is him describing him murdering and doing to this young lass. But there's about 9 people that's in jail in Ada that's convicted on saying, I had a dream about this.
I know.
The other interrogator in the room must have the similar feeling, and this is just because we've gigged together so much, that if I'm watching you on stage and you start to get into your bit about kitchen appliances, I'll be like, yeah, we'll be doing this in 2 minutes. There we go. Wrapping it up now. Tell me, Ron, have you had any interesting dreams recently? No, we're just shooting the shit. No, we're changing the tapes around.
Yeah.
All right. Oh. Yeah, I have dreams about them. Do you have dreams about them, Ron? You know, put yourself in that scenario. What would that sound like? Come on.
Right, the dreams. Why is this now a running theme through this? Like, what is going on? Why is everybody having dreams about murdering these girls? And what I always, like, from the first ones, I thought the blokes were drugged. They didn't look. They didn't look like they were all together with it.
Well, can you imagine you're brought in at 10 in the morning to a police station?
Yeah.
And you've been bothered with the police as well. Even now you've been slapped about with a few phone books in your time. This isn't the days of CCTV making the news.
Yeah.
And they, for 36 hours, tell you you've murdered this girl. Then send you home. And you try and get a good night's sleep. Then they bring you back the next day. And went, so, any interesting dreams last night after I told you like 99,000 times that you're guilty of this crime?
Yeah. I know. One, I probably wouldn't say. If I did have a dream about it, I'd probably go...
I wouldn't say.
No.
I'd keep that shit to myself.
Yeah,
if I would doubt, I would keep that shit to myself.
Yeah, I'd be like, no, well, to be honest with you, I had to have a few beers to my mind and I sort of just fell asleep. I don't really remember anything. Not that I had a wet dream about murdering people. I don't know if it was wet. Sorry, I don't know if it was a wet dream. I don't know why that come out. I'm sorry.
So, just on the 9 o'clock news, like, suspect in the Debbie suitcase claims he doesn't dream when he sleeps. Is that a sign you're a serial killer? He said after a night of interrogation by the police, he slept like a baby. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing right you can say with...
I put it to you that on the night of April 14th, you slept like a baby and did not dream at all. Therefore, you are guilty of murder. You fucking cretin.
And this tape of how they gained this particular confession is what's called a Brady violation. Now, a Brady violation is when a exculpatory evidence is not handed to the prosecution. It's named after a famous guy this happened to, and they found this out. And this is why you get good lawyers, all right? This is why when you see a law firm, you've got 100 people looking through all the fucking files and all these researchers and analysts and whatever else they are, like, you know, the fixers of the law firm have to go through everything because the police have everything. And there's been a few, like on Making the Murderer season 2, where it's spoiler alert, there is like ACD blank at the bottom of the box, and are like, holy shit, we've like they didn't label it, they didn't put it on the inventory, but they give it to us so it wasn't a Brady violation. Then when you talk about how you need good lawyers, this is when you discover Ron Williamson's lawyer was blind.
Oh, Ron, his lawyer could not be asked in the slightest, could he?
Well, due to how we see Ron within this,
Yeah.
I would pay money. I would pay good money to see just unedited of their consultations. Or that moment. That moment when Ron's sitting there and he's just like, they've got nothing on me. There's plenty of evidence. I wasn't there. And then he sees the guy dog walking.
Sees old David Blunkett walking in.
he sees the tapping of the cane. And you can hear it in the lawyer's voice because you'll see very quickly Ron's an angry man.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an angry, innocent man. And you can hear it in the voice going, I'm sorry, Judge, I can't represent him. I'm too old. I can't put up with this shit.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's what? The bloke's turned up, isn't he? And they're telling that. No, I don't know if I've put this in the wrong place, but they're talking about that it goes to his sister. And she's going on about Ron's mental illness.
Yeah, and it shows you
voices.
how. Yeah.
But this is the bit. This is what I was saying. This is the bit that got me. Right. So Renee Williamson, his sister, is reading letters from him from prison.
Yeah.
And the way it just tells of a man in utter despair that has just give up on hope. Do you know what I mean? Like. He has stopped washing. He has stopped eating. He's stopped everything. His teeth are falling out. He's lost a load of weight. His hair's all fucking coming out. And I just thought, Jesus, that was like.
For me, it's when it shows the transformation over time in the prison pictures. It's like the end of Roseanne, the aging, but it's the saddest aging you've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, I just felt really down after that.
I can imagine the letters are having to be passed around the family to see what he means. Like, what's he trying to say? That it deepens? Depressed, right? Thanks. Cool. No, I thought it was something like that with the context. It's just, before I wrote back, I didn't want to get it wrong. It tends to get a bit snappy.
Yeah. Oh, I suppose he only talks about his dreams with the old Bill for some reason. I don't know what's going on there. But yeah, that bit just got me because this all like the voices. He then goes on about so they've got this new lawyer. He's going through it and they've done a 2-hour recording of the interview. Am I jumping ahead here or back?
No, you're in the wrong part. So the interview that wasn't admitted to discovery.
Yeah, that's it. Sorry,
was 2 hours long. In which they kind of Brendan Dasseyed them into saying whatever they want. And then his appellate lawyers are going to the prison one day, and the prison psychologist stopped them and said, I've worked out what's wrong with Ron.
That's it, yes, sorry.
Ron has an alter ego called Ricky Fitzsimmons, and although Ron can't bring himself to admit he did it, he has an alter ego that's admitting he did it to release the guilt. And the lawyers go, no, Ricky Fitzsimmons is a real person. And again, this just gets more bizarre because the guy's walked into the prison, it went into the police station and said, I killed that girl, and described the way that how the tapes warped when you're listening to him talk.
Yeah.
It's fucked. It's absolutely fucked. It's one of the most like.
Yeah, so he's confessing on the videotape saying, you have the wrong guy. I killed her. You have the wrong guy. I am the bloke you're looking for. And then the police were like, would you like a counsellor? Would you like to talk to someone? And he's like, no.
Did you dream last night that you didn't do this?
Yeah, and he's going, I didn't dream. I don't dream about anything because I'm on whatever. And but he's like, no, I did kill her. I did kill her.
Then it cuts to footage of Ron in the prison making a statement, and
oh my god, yeah.
I don't think I've seen an angrier man.
The thing is, I get it. Like, I get it. like the outburst in the court now. I get it. Like the way he's in his interview in the second episode where he's laughing it off. He's like, what are you doing, man? You're just trying to fit me up.
Yeah, I mean, he sat there in court. His lawyer comes in, pulls out his briefcase, realizes he's packed the yellow pages and not his court notes. He's chucking the table around. This is something about the blind lawyer gets me. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be.
The lawyers sit down on the prosecution side. He's like, on a tax fraud case. He's like, I don't know what's going on here.
The lawyer sits down, asks for a short back and sides. Yeah, I'm representing this right psycho. He fucking did it, like.
Yeah, I'll have the steak, please.
My name is Ron Williamson. I am in the Montauk Correctional Facility, and I am charged with it. And he has just got the fucking righteous anger of a fucking madman. Like,
he is going insanely angry. But you would.
Yeah, and Ricky Fitzsimmons was cleared of any wrongdoing.
But they didn't even take him to court, did they?
No, they just said he was mentally ill. And he went on, I don't know if you saw what he looked like, to become a Buffalo Bill in Silence of the Lambs.
Yep. Was that him? Oh, sorry. Do you know what? It's been a long week. It's been an absolute long week for me. It's only Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, so no one knew, like, no one believed he was guilty. He got away with it. Ron's gone mental. And then...
so he's now... They're filing an appeal. They've got the Innocence Project in there, which those are the guys... And here's the big thing. The Innocence Project, it's not just about helping these people. It's about how much it costs to help these people.
Yeah.
So the Innocence Project is willing to pay for the DNA testing, which is obviously through the roof costs.
Cool. If we just go back to it, I'll tell you what was interesting is, so Barney Wald was his defence lawyer that couldn't be fucking asked to do anything, yeah? Now, what they found out is he was done for Social Security disability. No, he had Social Security disability allowance, which is...
Yeah, check fraud. Yeah,
and then he got done. But he was unfit to stand trial for check cashing or check fraud, but was okay for murder. So that stuck with me as well.
I'll get to my theory as this unfolds. Yeah. I've got a pretty certain in my head what the police were thinking with this. So you got the Innocence Project on, and then Dennis Fritz, his appeals had all been failed, so he's messaged the Innocence Project.
Yeah.
And the only link he had to the entire case was the hairs looked similar and he knows Ron. So that's the only reason why he's in there. He's been there 12 years at this point.
Oh, yeah, he was convicted for 2 pubes on a washcloth, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Which could be the name of our touring company.
The Guilt by Association tour with Rick and Morrison.
Oh, Jesus. Do we need to cut that bit?
Nah, we're fine.
It was
because when the big argument finally does come, we need to timestamp when we start talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
No, if you listen to Discussion Documentaries episode 103, we clearly state we're not doing that anymore. Now, I had this dream that I never gigged with that company. Does that count?
You're fucking guilty by association, mate. That's it. You're guilty by association. Where did we get to? So,
they're doing the DNA testing.
Yeah.
So you got the history of the Innocence Project and what they do. They've got David Sheck, who had something to do with the OJ trial. They weren't clear on what his position was on the OJ trial, but I would have liked to have heard a bit more about that.
Yeah. I'm intrigued to watch to see where, because he's not even mentioned in the O.J. Simpson miniseries either.
That series should just be called "Isn't It Sad What John Travolta Looks Like These Days?"
Why do all the people that were old when I was young now look terrible?
They were good-looking people when they hit 55. They're not ready for that downward slope.
Yeah.
It's time to get the scalpel out.
There's too much plastic in them.
But the lawyer said something interesting. Says we have the evidence for, at the very least, unfit counsel.
Yeah.
But manage your expectations because Ron is crazy.
Yeah.
Like, okay, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the man who just bit the bailiff is actually innocent. I know. So the police actually rushed the DNA testing. They forwarded because they think it'll strengthen their case for when they get a retrial for the ineffective counsel motion. That's when they found out there's no match.
Yeah, and then this is when I'm like, well, so far we've only had 4 people. No, 2, 5 people on the telly so far, on the program so far. So I'm thinking there's got to be someone else, surely.
This is intriguing, isn't it? Because this is episode 3 of, I want to say 5 or 6. I'll double check, but I'm very interested to see what happens next. But what happens within this one could have been the resolution of its own documentary, which is what interests me of what's coming next. So you have Fitz, who hasn't seen his daughter in 12 years, is in the court. You get the motion to dismiss, and you get Ron's statement. And when you listen to Ron talk, you're like, well, if he wasn't a killer then, pretty fucking sure he's a killer now. This guy
definitely is now,
is a justifiably angry man. When he's like, okay, Mr. Williamson, how far away are you away from electric? 5 days. 5 days. There's just a coldness to it. And when you see him outside the jail having a cigarette, just reminds me of like a wedding when you see an uncle that would never wear a suit.
Jeans with like a denim sort of shirt with a fucking denim tie. All
He's still got the plastic in the collar.
Yeah, still got the plastic in the collar, yeah. The big creases down the arms and the back.
Then you see Debbie Carter's mother, Peggy. That's sad. She's got a drink on her way home.
But she was... she wasn't like... She was totally the opposite to what I expected. I was expecting her to be kicking off, crying and all that, and she was like, that poor man.
Yeah, which is right. And then, so now she's devastated. She's never going to find it. But there is when something like that happens in other shows similar I've seen, there is a thirst for, they say to him, I believe it's them. I've demonized this person that I've been told has done it for so long. I won't be told otherwise that it wasn't them. Like the Teresa Hallback's family's a lot like that in Making a Murderer.
But I thought that was so. Like the letter brought me down, but then that brought me up because like the humanity of her. Do you know what I mean? The compassion.
Then you got Dennis on the chat show circuit with the daughter. Which I don't think Ron got many bookings. It normally goes like that when a duo splits up. Remember that, Adam. So...
yeah, like Robson and Jerome. One's fishing, one's fighting dragons. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. One's in the most critically acclaimed TV show of all time. The other one's on podcast talking about how he liked Newcastle in the 70s. Yeah. I really see which way I'm going to go with this.
I mean... At least we're doing something different. There's only so many times you see an Unchained Melody with someone in there before you start getting the ump with them. Or Up on the Roof.
I was desperate. For Robson Green to end up in Game of Thrones. I wanted that to be the final scene. He just comes out, cuts Jerome's neck, and said, "You all knew this was happening." Wink and say, "How are the mags?" Walks off.
How are the mags? The dragon just happens to be black and white as it's flying off. Yeah, that would have been good. That would have been good because you had what, the Mountain versus the Hound.
Yep.
Who else was fighting? I can't even remember who else was fighting.
We fucking what's it? The evil mother and Jaime Lannister. Fuck, I can't believe I've forgotten her name.
Cersei.
Cersei and Lannister just crumble under bricks, so that sucked.
Yeah.
That wasn't a good conclusion.
And then
They all just vote on Jon Snow going to... do you know what? We're giving spoilers right now that we don't need to give. We don't have a punchline to this.
No, we don't. We're just talking about Game of Thrones.
Watch it to the season before, and then you're fine. So
if you like
then,
murder, there's a lot in there.
What's that?
I said if you like murder as well, there's a lot in there.
Yeah. It's brilliant.
Sorry, that just really got me. Yeah, that's brilliant. It's brilliant.
It's really good. People you like die. You feel something.
Oh, Jesus. Where was
So
we?
Bill Peterson is the prosecutor.
Yeah.
And he's the one. He looks a lot like one of the commentators on AEW.
Oh, he does. Yeah, he does.
He's Oklahoma, possibly related to Jim Rossland. So Bill Peterson comes out in the press and said the word innocence never left my lips. All we're saying is we can't prosecute him on the evidence we currently have. And he was even telling people that they will try for him again, which that must have been just insane to have to deal with that after 12 years wrongful incarceration.
Could you imagine just being locked up? And not for nothing, for not committing a crime. You're just locked up in prison for 12 years. That must be...
I've had dreams about it.
Oh, so it's happened?
Should we check the records? No, he said he dreamt it. That just means he did it.
He said he dreamt it. Jesus, you know what it's like. Right, that's lunch. Fuck it.
And then you have one of the female prosecutors. Sorry, apologies, I didn't catch her name. And she's doing something that I don't know if she's doing this or it's someone asking her questions as she's answering. But she's going, do I regret what happened? Of course I do, blah, blah, blah. She's asking herself a question so she can get her message across, like, do I think that they should have been arrested? No, but we did the best we can. Do you know what I mean? They're asking themselves...
to
moral.
Justify it. Yeah, like, no, I am a moral person. You weren't. You was just after the money at the end of the day. Easy conviction. Bang, see you later.
I think it comes from the top down. When you're in one of those ones, a guy comes in and goes, right, local girl's been murdered, whole town's up in arms, we have no leads. Who's that guy that was shouting and throwing shit at the police station last week? Does he live next door to her? All right, bring him in.
Wait, he lives next door to her and in his mum's shed. Fucking bingo. We got him. And he dreams. Fuck it. Lock him up. 20 years. Put him on death row. It's the dreams. It's the dream. When are dreams still like classed as evidence, or are they not classed as evidence anymore?
What's the word? I'm going to sound stupid as fuck. I think dreams are at some point considered inadmissible as evidence.
They've got to be. It was like, even back then in the 80s, they should have been like, the judge must have been like, over the mic, looking at his mate, going, can you just check the law book? Are we allowed to take dreams? Do you know what I mean? Is he allowed to say that? Do you know what I mean? Is he allowed to put dreams in?
Sir, could you stop trying to throw the table at me? I'm trying to work out whether or not you could be convicted on what you dreamt about last night. So the lawyers are saying, like, look, Tommy Ward and the other guy must be innocent. It's the exact same case, basically. And they did say that if there was just a murder and not a sexual assault in the first one, there'd be no DNA evidence which could have exonerated them, which is what fucks over Tommy Ward.
Yeah.
Because there's been no body found.
Yeah.
And then Adam, in Ada, Oklahoma, where no one learns their lesson. Now, I mean no one learns a lesson in Ada, Oklahoma. Tommy Ward says he had a dream.
Oh, God.
that he knew where the body was buried. I can't wait for the next episode. I can't wait.
I can't wait for it. Do you know, it's like South Park Imagination Land. Like, he must be walking into that police station, into that interview going, imagination. I've got nothing. I've been locked up for fucking 20 years. What do you want me to talk about? Oh, yeah, I've had enough.
Lawyer Mark Barrett. If he manages to get Tommy Ward off, then Bill Peterson has to suck his balls. That's the end. That's the innocent man. But so Tommy Ward describes his dream. First off, it shows that the appellate lawyers now join Tommy Ward's case because it's heartbreaking listening to Tommy Ward. Tommy Ward sounds like the old guy at the depot. He just looks lovely. And he's going, and I hear about these exonerees and think, why not? Then he starts crying, and then when the lawyer sits down, the piano playing guy, they play gospel music.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What you couldn't see to the left of him is a guy with a guide dog get up and go, well, I guess I'm not needed here anymore, Tommy.
But do you know what? I'd like... I'm looking forward to the next episode because I can't see where this is going because...
I want to know, because this dream, he describes it vividly. He says a man takes him out to the woods and says, I know where the body is. He says, who are you? He looks, he smiles, and he gives him a wink. He says, I'm Ricky Fitzsimmons, bitch. It was him all along. It was Ricky Fitzsimmons. Yeah. No, it wasn't. It was a guy who said he was either an angel or a demon. I think it was the quote.
But I mean, I'm interested because I now, because of the title, and if this Tommy Ward is guilty, would he have released this documentary? Do you know what I mean? Like, would he have signed off on it?
It's funny you say that because a few weeks back, we were being, and we apologise profusely on the rapidness of the content we're producing. But a while back, we did a documentary which is the inverse of all these, called Murder in the Park, which is basically the Innocence Project and a group of students get a real murderer off death row and put an innocent man on death row.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's on YouTube if you ever want to check it out. But that brings us, and I think there was a newspaper clipping to say body found, so there's going to be new evidence within this, and I'm very excited to get this one done.
I am excited. I am really excited. I'm really excited to get this done. I think this should be getting more people should be talking about this, like in the workplace and stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone was banging on about Tiger King. I never watched it, but this one I reckon people should be talking about.
Yeah, Tiger King is kind of so lucky in when it was released.
Yeah.
Because Tiger King's good. It's like grade A nutcases and some fun footage. But what it pretty much is this is the first time the whole world was said, sit down, shut the fuck up, and stay indoors for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So it was the week of lockdown it got released. That is the luckiest scheduling you could have ever hoped for.
Jesus. Yeah, I never watched it.
It's not bad footage. It's crackers people around tigers. You can't go far wrong with it. We're on our Patreon account, which has been suspended, in terms of the payments have been suspended on that one. Where I think we're about 7 or 8 episodes through season 1.
What, of Tiger King?
Yeah. So for just £5 a month, if you don't want to watch it but you want to listen to me talk about it, Patreon.
Hey, I'd pay £5 a month just to listen to you. I'll get it for free. That's all right.
we do hang out too much. So on saying hanging out too much, Adam, do you have anything to plug?
Yes, I do have. Me and Rick, myself and Rick, have a new podcast called All New to Wrestling. Basically, Rick's a super nerd of wrestling and watched it ever since he could. first do his power ninja slam off the top ropes, maybe. And I've never watched it, so basically it's a complete noob and a nerd just talking about wrestling, which I'm finding really fun. I actually really enjoy it.
Yeah,
I really enjoy wrestling.
Very similar to this, so it's about wrestling. So I got to be honest, guys. Terry, I'm talking to you, buddy. It's a review show of AEW each week. Check it out if you want to see that. We've also got Adam Morrison, Football Manager, where Adam here, my co-host, is taking the reins of the football coach of Southern Water FC, and it has been a fucking amazing journey on that one. We're about 7 games into the season, so they're about to be released.
Yeah, we've played all our group games. We're coming into the quarterfinals, baby. And
so there's great footage of that online. There's some clips. You check Adam Morrison on Twitter, Instagram, or whatever. And Twitch stream Rick versus Morrison. So we're allowed to play computer games in the evening without being told off for not trying with our careers anymore. So if you can check out any of those, if not, like, subscribe, or just thank you so much for listening. And we're going to be doing part 4 in the near future. Fantastic choice, AJ. And next up, I think we also are going to do Beyond the Mat, where I'm going to really try and be enthusiastic about the new wrestling podcast. Coming up soon, the Tinder Swindler. But until then, thank you very much for listening. Take it easy. Adam, see you later, pal.
Cheers, man. Take it easy, guys. Thank you.